Hello everybody, it's Jen. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today I am making a card using Newton's Nook, Newton's Donut. And is this not one of the cutest images you've seen? How can you resist a kitty hanging off a donut? So this stamp set came in the newest Flavor of the Month card kit by Scrapping for Less. There are a few card kits still available. I'll link to the card kit as well as all of the products that I used in the description box. So I'm coloring up this little kitty as a white kitty, but I'm using my warm grays to give him some shadowing so that it's just not a plain white cat. So I'm using W5, 3, 1, and 0, 0. I'm using the darkest marker, the W5, very sparingly in only a few spots, and then I'm blending that out with the W3, and then continuing my blending with the W1, and then using the lightest, which is the W00. So I want to make sure that I'm leaving a lot of white space so that the cat will actually look white and not gray. You can see here I'm just using the tip of my marker to lay down just a little bit of color. So moving through from darkest to lightest here. Almost finished. Once I get the body done, I will go in and do the tummy as well, and I want that to be white. I wanted to give the kitty a little bit of pink in the ears, on the nose, and on the pads of his feet. So I'm just using the R20 for that, and I'm going to blend that out with my W00 just to make it a very faint pink color. So here's where I'm doing the tummy. Now I'm going to work on the donut itself. I want it to be a very pale colored donut to match the donuts in the pattern paper that I'm going to use. So I'm using E35, E53, and E51. I'm laying the E53 in the indentations where the icing meets the donut. This will help it to make it look like the icing is actually lifted a bit off the donut. I'll go over that with the E53, and now I'm just using the E51 to color in the rest of my donut. For the icing, I wanted a pink icing, or pink frosted donut. So I'm using R85, R83, and R81. So I'm using the R85 around the inner circle of the donut as well as around Newton because he would cast a shadow. And then I'm also putting it in the areas of the icing that protrude out onto the actual donut. So once I do that, I'm going to blend that out with the R83 marker. I'm trying to be really careful here not to color in any of the sprinkles because we're going to add some color to those sprinkles once I get the icing complete. So this was a little bit tedious trying to get around those little sprinkles, but I think the effect of having the dark shading around the edge and around Newton really paid off. You'll see at the end of the card, it actually looks like there's more than one layer to the donut. So to finish off, I'm just taking my R81 marker here, and I'm coloring in the rest of the icing. Again, trying to make sure that I'm not coloring in those sprinkles. I do color in by accident one right down here, but in the end, it's fine, and you can't really tell. So once I get that finished up, I'm going to bring in the colors for the sprinkles. So I'm using BG15 for the longer sprinkles and then my Y15 for the little circle sprinkles. These two colors match the pattern paper perfectly. So just going to finish up here with the yellow. These spots were way too tiny to do any more than one color. And really, I want the kitty to kind of be the star of the show and the donut. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment onto this panel here. So this panel is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and the sentiment is donut know what I would do without you, which is so stinking cute. So I'm going to use a stitched rectangle die here to die cut this panel out, and then I'm using a scalloped rectangle die to cut out my pattern paper with the donuts on it. So I was just lining it up there to make sure that there wasn't a lot of white space around the edges. My die is sticking to the paper. I need to condition it or something. So you saw me struggle there a bit, but I managed to get it off. So I'm going to add the donut pattern paper right onto my card base. It is going to leave a little bit of a white border, which is perfect because it will pick up on the white of the panel here with my stamped image. I am going to pop this focal panel up on some fun foam. So I'm just going to cut that out really quickly, add some double-sided tape here. This stuff is super sticky. So once you lay it down, you do not get a second chance. So always try to be really careful when I'm placing something that I've used this tape on onto my card panel. My card base was a little bit wonky, so I'm just using my Teflon bone folder here to straighten it out. I'm going to line this up as best as possible, and that will be the card for today. I hope you've enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.